Welcome, I'm Chris Tinsley. This is Finances for Everyone, where your financial health matters. Now, today we're going to be talking about the real estate investing 7-step guide, and this is part 2. So this is the real estate investing 7-step guide, and we're on part 2. So in this part, we're going to be talking about step number 3. So if you missed step 1 and 2, go to the show notes and click on that first video so you can watch this video in order. But step 3 of real estate investing is how to find experts and really what to ask those experts at any time. So let's go ahead and jump right on in. So first we need to talk about how to find experts. So if you're new to real estate investing, it's very likely that you don't have any contacts and they're going to be starting from scratch. And there's really a method that you can use having zero contacts. And the way that I do this is the first thing you want to do is you can start with a real estate agent, and then you can get a recommendation from them, from either a friend or a family member for someone that they have used for a real estate agent. And then you can also just do a Google search and find top agents in your area and then call the first one you see. Now, likely the first person that you call will not be a good lead, but what you do want to do is ask those experts for recommendations. So if you ask for more recommendations from experts, so if you call a real estate agent and you ask them for, a mortgage broker lead, it's more likely that you're going to find somebody that's high quality than if you just went online and tried to search for the first person that you found on a Google search. And as you call those next experts, you can also ask for more recommendations. So if a real estate agent gives you a mortgage broker, you can call that mortgage broker up and get recommendations for real estate agents. And you can start to call more and more people and get better and better recommendations, because really no expert is going to want to give you a bad recommendation, because that's going to look bad on them. So they're going to be giving you the best people that they know to work with. They're not just going to give you terrible recommendations. And really the key here is to interview at least 5 people for each team member that you're trying to get. So for your broker, community banker, real estate agent, you may want to interview 10 people since they're your most important team members. But just remember that through this process, you don't want to let yourself get rushed, because you're going to be hiring these people. This is basically an employee of yours. You're going to be paying them your hard-earned money to help you find houses or help you buy houses. So if you get rushed and you settle on somebody that's not right for you in your real estate investing career, that could really spell bad news for your investments in the future. All right, so the first expert that you want to find is a real estate agent. So once you do a Google search or find that very first person that you want to talk to, there's a ton of questions that you can ask them. You can look more into some of these questions by going to the blog post that's in the show notes. But let's talk about a couple here today. So one of the really good questions that you can ask a real estate agent is, how long have you been in real estate? And this is so important because there are so many inexperienced agents out there that are trying to sell themselves as more experienced than they are, which is understandable. You want an agent that has as much experience as you can, because you're trusting them to be able to find deals for you, and then you're probably paying them upwards of 3%, of the purchase price of that house. And for real estate, there's a low barrier to entry to get in to real estate, and so there can be a lot of inexperienced investors out there. So you really just want to be upfront and ask them this question, so you can kind of determine how much experience they actually have. So next question that is good to ask them is, do you make your living in real estate? So you don't want an agent that is doing this, as a side gig, may not really need it. You want them to be responsive. You want them to be dedicated to helping you to find deals. And this is really important, for your investing career, is that you make sure that they are going to be dedicated to the deal. If you want more questions for a real estate agent, you can also click in the show notes for 12 must-ask real estate agent questions, and you can get that for free. And that'll be an infographic. So the next expert that we're going to talk about is a mortgage broker. Question that's good for them is asking if they can put together 100% financing. Being able to find a broker who can put together 100% financing is rare, but even if they can do anything better than 80%, that's extremely beneficial to you. And they are out there. They may know the right people that you can talk to get 100% financing outside of the the traditional methods such as a VA loan. So finding a broker like that, that's extremely important. And also you can ask them if refinancing is a major part of their business. So refinancing is really easy part of being a broker. If this is a major part of their business, I would stay away, because you want a more experienced broker, who gets their money closing loans, not on closing refinancing loans. So you need to be upfront and ask them the hard questions. So you don't get somebody who is not a good broker. Now let's go through some of the questions that we want to ask an attorney. So the first one is going to be, how long do your closings take? So the closings should really take less than 30 days. The shorter the better, but only if they have a good team that is in place. So you don't want them rushing closings. If they don't have a good team, they can make a lot of mistakes. That person that's just working on their own and gets overwhelmed, even if they are good, is going to make some mistakes if they don't have a good team behind them. And then another good question is, do you work with investors? So this is a good question for really all of your experts that you want to put together. But you want to ask an attorney if they work with investors, because they're going to be more likely to work with you. If you're trying to purchase a property with creative financing or with special terms later on down the line, they're going to probably understand what you need better than those who just sell primary, normal, everyday homes. You want them to be able to actually work with investors. Then here's a question for a community banker. This can really go hand in hand if you get a mortgage broker. You can also have a community banker on your team as you maybe buy more properties later down the line. And you can ask them if they lend on loan to value instead of the contract price. So if you can find a community banker who is flexible enough to be able to loan you LTV instead of the contract price, then you're going to be able to not only borrow on the purchase price of the property, but you can also get the repair money loaned to you if you're doing a flip. Even if you're getting a rental, being able to find a lender that is going to be able to get a little bit more creative is going to be a better member of your team. And this is going to really save the amount of cash that you have to come with out of your own pocket. Next question is going to be for your home inspector. So when you're trying to find a good home inspector, you need to ask them how long they've been inspecting homes. So you want to find an inspector, that's been inspecting homes in your area over the last year at least, so that you know that they have some level of experience. If you just ask them how long they've been in the business, they maybe talk about some of their prior contracting business, but not how long they've actually been inspecting homes. And you can ask them, what did you do before inspecting homes? Sometimes home inspectors will have, less than 1 year experience, but they have been a contractor for years and years. And so finding out their background can help you decide if they have enough experience in their prior career that you feel comfortable working with them. And then you need an appraiser. So this is going to be extremely important, whether or not you're using a bank who's going to hire their own appraiser. But if you're buying, properties for cash or you're using investors, you're going to have to hire an appraiser as well, or you should, to make sure that your home is worth what you think it is worth. So you can ask appraisers a lot of questions, but one of them is, are you FHA approved? So you want them FHA approved because it means that they have taken the time to improve their skills as an appraiser to get that FHA approval, and that they're higher quality than just the normal everyday appraiser. Ask them, how many houses have you appraised in this neighborhood? So if they don't normally work in your area that you're buying in, then they probably don't understand your market and may make mistakes appraising your home. There's been appraisers, that banks have used that they pull when they need one quickly, from other towns or other areas, and they may just do a bad job and they may not understand your area. So you want an appraiser that's local and has done a lot of appraisals in your neighborhood. It comes down to contractor and handyman. And this question, are you licensed, is important for contractors especially. Now handyman, depending on the job you're having them do, you may want them to be licensed if they're doing important work on your house. If they're just doing stuff that doesn't require permits, you may not care about this question. But when you ask them if they're licensed for the contractors, you want to make sure that they're licensed and get their license number and check it to make sure they're legit, because you do not want to have your work not count later on down the line, or not have them be able to pull a permit for you. Every single one of your experts, you can ask them, do you have any prior customers or references that I can speak with? Really the biggest red flag of any contractor or handyman is that they won't give you references. And this probably means that they don't do good work, but if they do good work, they should be proud of that, and they should have references and pictures and all of those things to kind of show you the quality level of their work. All right, the next expert that we have questions for is a CPA or accountant. and you're going to need these experts to be able to do good work for you on your taxes. So you can ask them, what kind of real estate tax law knowledge do you have, just kind of to see what kind of answer they give you. But you want it to be specific enough that you can gauge, if they actually have a good amount of knowledge, or, if they're brand new and they're just filling out, everyday tax returns, for the normal person. And then you can ask them if you understand the impact of capital gains on real estate and how to mitigate that expense. So this question is really where you can test them on the important aspect of real estate investing knowledge. And if they were good at lying in the first question, this will help you determine if what they are saying is true. And that's kind of what I recommend is, do some research on a specific part of, real estate tax law, just for one question. So when you ask them and you get their answer, you can tell whether or not, they have more knowledge than you do, which is exactly what you want. An expert, if you're hiring them, is a lot more knowledge, especially when it comes down to tax law, than you do. Then for this last expert, this is a property manager. So this will be only for those people that want to do rentals. So if you're buying your own primary home, you may not need this expert, but maybe eventually you plan on renting out your property, so you want to ask property manager questions. And this question is, what steps do you take to market properties? So for this answer, the more comprehensive, the better for their marketing strategy. You want to be able to tell really quickly, if they don't know what they're talking about, or they don't have a real marketing strategy for renting out your property, then you don't want to go with them, because you're not going to get your vacancies filled quickly at all. And you can also ask them, how long are your properties vacant for? So obviously the shorter amount of time, the better. But as you talk to more property managers, you're really going to be able to see who stands out from the crowd with how quickly they are able to fill their vacancies. All right, that was step 3 of the real estate investing 7-step guide. In the next video, we'll talk about more steps that you need to do in order to be involved in real estate investing, and really how you can find deals. If you want more questions from this step, this is obviously not all inclusive at all. You can go to our website and click on our courses and check out our real estate investing courses. We have a light version, we have a pro version, and by checking out those courses, that is going to give you a lot more resources that you can use for your real estate investing career and help you to find deals and become successful. All right, thanks for checking out today's video. If you want to find out more about Finances for Everyone, go to the show notes and click on the link for financesforeveryone.com, where you can read our blog, learn more about real estate investing in our courses, and you can also get a free gift by filling out your information on the banner. You can also go to YouTube and find us by typing in Finances for Everyone, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Till next time.